Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and today we are going to do the Remembering Bruges throw. This is one of two, so part one of two. So what I'm going to focus on today is the body of this blanket, and then in part two we're going to focus on the Bruges lace that is surrounding this. There was questions that came in actually from one person that I had met during a show, and apparently there is confusion about the border itself. I did find an error in the border, and I was able to go through that. It took me about 6 hours to do the research on this one here. I also combed through Ravelry to see what people were saying about this pattern as well, to see what their issues were, just to make sure that I was seeing the same thing. So this is a really cool pattern to be able to do a nice, easy 4-row repeat once you get moving on this thing. And then the border is actually really quite simple, but there's a lot of words. And there's a lot of words because it is Bruges lace. If you go to the pattern link, it's in the video description, you're going to find the downloadable for this. But we've done Bruges lace before in a beautiful higher end wrap that has also been linked to that article. And so Bruges lace is really quite pretty. So Bruges lace basically is just going back and forth around the edging, and you will see that in the other example as well for the wrap, the way that it's going to work. It also has some blown up photos, which I actually used to help me. If you would like to change the size of this, because that was one of the questions that was never answered on Ravelry, the stitch multiple is 16 plus 7. So what I had to do for myself is chart it out in diagram format so I could understand to get that information, but also for help me to visualize to teach it today. I am going to be using Caron Simply Me yarn on camera today, and that's what I'm using, and it was recommending a Red Heart Super Saver, 6 balls of it of dusty gray, using a 5.5mm size eye crochet hook. Because I'm changing to Simply Me, I'm using a 5mm hook instead. So without further ado, let's go through the body of this and let's get you started, and then you can come back on part number 2 and do the border when you're ready. So let's begin our starting. It says it's an easy level pattern. I would think this is more intermediate, but that's just my own personal preference. So you can chain 135 to start, or you can do the multiples of 16 chains plus 7. So that's what I'm going to do. So I saw in Ravelry people want to change sizes. That's what it is. So to do a stitch multiple, you can just do 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So 16 is the stitch multiple. So if you want to make it longer, do another 16, and so on. You should know that the chain does shrink about 20%. So if you had 100 chains, it'll look like 80 chains wide at the end. So I'll do another stitch multiple of 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So I'm going to say that I'm happy with the width. So now I have to add 7 to have the balance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you can either chain 135, which is the same thing as the stitch multiple of 16 plus 7, or customize it for yourself for that. We'll do row number 1 next. To do row number 1, you are going to go 4 chain from the hook. So count back, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. I like getting the back hump of the chain, so 4th one back, the back hump. If you prefer not to do it that way, you are the creator, you decide. When you do that 4th chain, or 4th chain from the hook, this chain here counts as a double crochet, and this is a double crochet, so you technically have 2 double crochet now. So continuing along the chain, 1 double crochet in each of the chains all the way back to the end, and I'll see you there in just a moment. I'm coming across my chain, 1 double crochet into each, and we're going to be moving on to row number 2 in a second. And the stitch counts are provided on the pattern if you need it. So just go to the pattern link, it's in the video description. So once you get right to the end, turn your work and let's begin row number 2. Row number 2 is about getting the foundation started for the wave. So you're going to chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet, and you're going to double crochet the first 4 that you'll run into. So the first one's already done, and so the next 4. So all the double crochets will be in groups of 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these 4 plus the beginning chain gives you 5. You are then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you are going to skip 3 double crochets down here. And you are going to single crochet the 4th one away. You're going to chain 3 again, so 1, 2, 3, skip 3 more double crochet, and go to the 4th and single crochet. And then you're going to do that one more time. So chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and you're going to skip the next 3 and go to the 4th and start double crocheting then 5 in a row. So we got the first one, and 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these double crochets are always in groups of 5. So this is the start of the shell work, and the middle one is where it's going to splay out from. So let's begin to do that again. So you're going to repeat this all the way across. So chain 3, skip the next 3, and single crochet the 4th one away. Chain 3, skip the next 3 and go to the 4th one away for a single crochet. Then chain 3, and then the next skip 3, and then the next one here is going to be the 4th one away. Sorry, the 4th one away is your double crochet, and you're going to do the last 5. So this is 1 of 5. So you just continue this until you get to the other side. And you got to make sure that the turning chain that we did at the very beginning is also counting as the group of 5. So I have 4. And then the turning chain, don't go into a space, go right into a chain work itself and double crochet in. So you're just repeating the same concept going all the way across, and now you have the centers of your waves coming up in the future. Let's turn your work, and row number 3, 4, 5, and 6 is the repeat pattern for the rest of this blanket. So let's take a look at number 3. The cool thing about this blanket is that the 5 double crochets will always stay on top of each other, and things are changing in the centers here where the waves are. So as we move to row number 3, we're going to chain 3, which is your first double crochet, and so the other 4 double crochets here will stay as a double crochet. So that will never change. We're going to start the first section of the splaying of the shell work. So splaying means to spread out. And so to start that, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in the first chain 3 space right here. Now, the next chain 3 space that you'll put in 7 double crochet right into that space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then in this space that's next is just 1 single crochet. So just go right in there. And then before you can do the double crochets, you're going to chain 3 to get up to the height. So 1, 2, 3, and start double crocheting the 5. And you're going to be repeating this all the way across. So we have 1. And you really don't need to count it if you can see that there's 5. So some things you can count, and other things you can let the visual be your cue. So to start another one of those, chain 3, and dip down to the next chain 3 here, and single crochet in. The next chain 3 of the group is 7 double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet in the next chain 3 and keep repeating that across. So to get to your next double crochets, you got to chain 3 first to get to the height. So the last 5 in a row will be a double crochet. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy, nice easy repeating flow as you go across. Just keep in mind that turning chain has to be filled in. Okay, so don't go into a space, go right into the chain work itself and double crochet. So there'll always be 5 here on the edge, and now you've just created your first shell. Let's turn and work and do row number 4. So we're going to make this shell work even more splayed, and the beginning is always going to be the same as I mentioned before. So you're going to chain 3, that's your first double crochet, and then the other 4 are each a double crochet that you'll run into. Now, to get this to be bigger, we are going to only chain 1, which will cause it to dip down, and you are going to single crochet into this chain 3 space. You are going to skip the single crochet. It doesn't say to do that because the pattern says is to double crochet into the first double crochet here. So you're just going to skip that single crochet and double crochet into that first one. Do you see it? Now you'll chain 1 and then double crochet into the next. Chain 1 and double crochet the next, and you're going to keep doing this across your wave. Chain 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, double crochet in the next. So you stop when you get to the last double crochet of the grouping of 7. Chain 1 and do your last one right here. So there should only be 7 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At the end of the 7th one, you are going to single crochet into this chain 3 space to hold it down. Chain 1, and then you're going to move on and put a double crochet in each of the 5. And that's going to be your repeat going across. I'll show you this again. Okay, so once those are in and you're ready again, you're going to chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. And then start with your first double crochet that's part of this wave. So skip that single and double into the first double. Chain 1 and then double into the next one. Chain 1, double into the next. And you keep doing that until all of those 7 are used. Okay, so chain 1, this is the last one of the grouping of 7. You can count it if you want to, if you don't trust yourself. But I would imagine once you get used to this pattern, you don't have to obsessively count. So you're going to single into the next chain 3 space. So don't chain 1 after that last one. So single into the space, chain 1, and then because this is the end, the last 5 are a double crochet. Okay, and that turning chain, don't forget that. Go right into the chain work itself. And that was your row number 4. Okay, now you're going to turn your work and let's do row number 5. Row number 5, you were just going to blaze along and most of the stitches will have something. So we're going to chain 3, it's your first double, and then the other 4 is a double crochet each. Okay, so you still have your 5 on the edge. Now this particular one, we are going to stabilize, more stable than your host today. We're going to stabilize this and work our way across. So what I need you to do is skip the chain 1 space, skip the single crochet and go right into your first double crochet that's part of the wave. And double crochet right into that one. This is going to pull it out even more. go right into your space and double crochet. So you're going to go into each double crochet of the wave plus the chain 1 spaces in between it. And if you're doing your math, you're going to say, well, there's too many stitches being added. It's being compensated in row number 6, as we will stabilize it once again to get ready for another repeat. So each of the waves will have 1 double in the double and 1 double in the chain 1 spaces in between those. You don't hear me counting. I'm just looking at what's below and just responding to it with giving it the right amount of stitches. So this is the last double of the wave. Okay, so it is going to stabilize. So you see how it's growing out, it's splaying out. So right now you are going to skip the single, you are going to skip the chain 1 space and just do your 5 double crochets that are in between the groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'll show you that again. Okay, do you see that? See how it fills in everything? So now you're going to start again. So skip the chain 1, skip the single, and go right into your first double that's part of the wave. And then you're going to double into the chain 1 space that's part of the wave, which is your next space, and then double into the double. And keep doing that across your wave. What this is doing, it's adding 2 more stitches to the wave that should be there, and it'll balance out in the next row, as I promised. Row number 6 is going to restabilize everything for you. So pay attention to where the last one is part of the wave, which is this one. And then we're going to then jump to your next group of 5. So if it's not the edge, then you just keep on going. So in this case, it is the edge. So I'm just going to skip over the single, the chain 1 space, and just double crochet the next 5. In this case, it's the edge. And of course, in that end one, go right into the turning chain, never to a space. Okay, and we'll turn our work and get ready for row number 6, which is the end of the repeat. So row number 6 is different from row number 2. So there's too many stitches in here. And we're compensating that because of the wave, and the wave wasn't existing here on row number 1. So we're going to compensate for that by doing row number 6. And to do that, you're going to chain 3. That's your first double. And so the next 4 in a row will each be a double crochet. So you'll always have your 5 double crochets on the edge. Okay, so now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this time you need to skip 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go to the 5th and single crochet in. This keeps that wave being stable. You're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Skip only 3 this time. So 1, 2, 3. Go to the 4th. And then you're going to do your next chain 3. And so you technically are skipping 4 stitches, which is part of the wave, but what I would tell you is that just look for the grouping of 5 that's part of the stable one going up, and just put in your 5 double crochets in a row. So if you can look for hints like that, it makes it awesome. So this is stabilizing the height of the stitch work and getting ready for another grouping of waves that will go in the future. Do you see that? So to start another one, you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go to the 5th. Single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip only 3 in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're technically skipping 4 stitches, which is part of the wave, but just look for another group of the 5 here that's going up the column. And you're going to do that all the way across. And in this case, it's the end of my row already. And we're going to talk about the repeat and what you need to do, because in part number 2, we're going to start the Bruges lace, which is how we're going to finish at the end of the day. Okay, so there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So let's talk about your repeat. So now it's up to you to get it to the height that you need for what you want. The pattern says is to repeat rows number 3 through 6 21 more times. So you'll just keep repeating those, and we have time markers available in the video description as well as pinned comment that you can go to those time markers for rows number 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here's the thing. Once you have that done, you have to end on a 4th row. So you go 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, but the last 2 rows have to be 3 and 4 in order to get this thing to align for the final border. My other hint to you is that if you are going to customize it, the final information, that there's an even number of rows. I've already figured that out off camera. So if you are going to customize, just continue to repeat rows number 3 through 6, and then at the end of it, when you're happy with it, just do row number 3 and 4 one more time, and that's where I'm going to pick you up then on the next part of this in part number 2 as we start the Bruges lace together. So please get that done, and I'll see you on video number 2.